I thought as a trial, we might have you all pick 5 people who could come on a regular basis to work with the animals, and we would then give them that shot, we'd pay for it, because it's $500, not cheap. We took that to the county attorney, we discussed doing that, and he said once again, no, it's not acceptable, we will not let volunteers in. If you can't work in the shelter proper, if the attorney wants you to do that, are there other things you can do for us? Maybe you all can help us. We adopt out 1,000 animals a year. As our adoption agreement, and it's included in the cost of the adoption, all of those animals are supposed to be spayed and neutered. We've done a study, and only about 30% are being done. And so if we could capture at least those other animals and get those done, that would be a great improvement. And so if there are some of you folks who would like to work with us on that, we'd like to get a committee together to help call those folks. And we use it every year. It's capitated. When I got the permission to do that, we were told we could not go above it. It had to be capitated. And so it's means tested. They have to, it's kind of like being on Medicaid. If you can afford to get your own health insurance, and then you ought to be paying for your own.
The contract, it says that they have to be spayed or neutered.
Yes.
But you can't hold them to that contract?
The only way I know how, first of all, I don't have the manning to track down 1,000 animals. That's just impossible with what I have. But if I did have the manning, then I got to go get that animal back. And that means to get it back legally, I got to go to court and the court time. So it's really not a. It's nice to have the agreement, but it's hard to enforce legally. So what we have today isn't perfect, and we don't run it perfect, but it's a lot better than what we had, and we've always been trying to do better. I do think this thing with the cats is a great thing we're doing now. It looks like almost no cats will be going into that chamber anymore because we're doing almost all of them. Every once in a while you're going to get one that the guys feel is so difficult it may have to go in there, but it'll be rare. So right now I think us using the chamber will be very rare for cats, and only those dogs that we think that we can't handle safely.
My name is Siggy Mayo. I live in Calabash, and I grew up in Germany, and gas chamber is a very bad word. So
But it's not that kind of gas chamber. I'm going to clarify that.
It's just, it's very disturbing when I read all this stuff in the paper. And my question to you is, how many vicious animals do you get, and when do you put them in the gas chamber? You have to take them out of the truck. They are in a cage. But isn't there a time when you can give them a sedation and then put them to sleep humanely?
I don't do this on a daily basis. When I talk to my officers, they tell me, and the vast majority of animals, they can do that. Especially all what we call companion animals. If they're your pet, and we pick it up and you don't claim it, or you don't want it back, or say it does something in your house and you don't want it anymore. Those animals, they're companion animals, we use a needle for. But can I back up the gas for a minute?
Yeah.
Because people equate this chamber to cyanide. That's what was used in Germany, cyanide poisoning. Cyanide poisoning is a poison. People have a bad reaction to it. It's painful, it's terrible. The physiology of carbon monoxide is that it has 30 times the binding power to hemoglobin that oxygen has. And so when you are exposed to a percentage of carbon monoxide, it displaces the oxygen in your brain. And when you reach a certain level, they pass out, and then they're asleep. And they continue to sleep until their body builds up enough carbon monoxide that the central nervous system shuts down. But it's not painful.
Why can't they, when they drag them out of the cage, give the shot then?
They're on a catch stick. They're on a catch stick because they can't handle it. It's different than just controlling the animal. It is to get a hold of the animal and give it a shot. And we have to retain. So let me just say, I don't want to debate the chamber. If you got some folks who want to sign a petition and overrule what I think is the best, I've already told you can do that. I don't want to debate that tonight. But I'm just trying to explain to you that this is not the kind of chamber that you're used to seeing. And we built one big enough so we didn't have to do this manhandling stuff. Our cage will slide in. And Davis put wheels on all of ours so we don't have to manhandle the animals.
I think if you would check, you would find that carbon monoxide was the first gas used in Nazi Germany.
I do believe a licensure, but people see that as a tax. But in Cumberland County, I believe it's something like nominal fee, $10 or $20 for regular pets. If you have a non-spayed or neutered pet, it's like 5 times that. It's like $100. And if you had such a program here, and I believe New Hanover has, and they have not near the problem we have with this, because people, if they know there's going to be a heavy fine, first of all, it's cheaper to get your spay and neuter done. Actually, over time, the life of the animal, you save money by getting it spayed and neutered because you don't pay this higher fee. And then if you get caught not getting it done and not paying your license, you make that fine 2 or 3 times what the $100 is, and then you can put pressure on people to get their animals taken care of like they should. Take the onus off of you and me and my people, and put it on where it belongs with the people who have the dogs and cats and aren't getting them spayed and neutered. We could do a lot more along with that than any of this other stuff we are arguing about, I believe. I think that's the way to go. But you are a grassroots group. If you can go out and work with the public and maybe get that on a ballot someplace or talk to the commissioners, that's something we can do to fix this problem.
Are you open to a volunteer program at your shelter with the sign of a release, or I mean,
The things
is
I talked
that
about.
available?
Let me back up again. The county attorney, I went and addressed him with a trial program. I was gonna pick 5 people who I thought could work there. And we were gonna give them pre-rabies shot, like my folks get. And so we could see if we had a stable work. And the county attorney said, absolutely not.
There's many other counties in North Carolina that have volunteers.
That's correct.
Many.
That's correct. Every county is run separately on its own rules.
Uh-huh.
And some folks are willing to take that risk, and my county attorney is not. And he's my attorney, and I have to follow his advice. Now, again, if you had the shelter, if you formed that group we talked about earlier, if you formed a Humane Society, and you run it, you can run it however you please. You can have all the volunteers, because you can't, you can get sued, but you won't have anything worth suing for.
I think the quickest way to move forward on this is for all of the local rescue groups to get together and start developing task force to get some of these things done. Like the volunteers to take animals to the pet adoption fairs and things like that. The pictures that would get posted on Pet
I think
Finder.
all the things I talked about, if we could do all those things, it would be wonderful. Foremost in my mind is to form a Humane Society to take over the shelter. I want to give it away tomorrow.
The state, which you're probably well aware of, has a free spay and neuter plan, which would also help reduce the number of animals going into the animal control facility. And volunteers can run that without going into the animal control facility.
What would be the first step in getting the licensure or the fines, or how would you go about to begin that?
I don't know. I'm gonna be back up. You know, I work for the government here, so it's difficult for me. I've already tried to get the licensure, and I've been told no. 3 or 4 times. Every time I bring it up, I'm told no. And so for me to then organize you all to go to the commissioners to pass a rule that they've already told me they don't want would make me very unpopular. But I think you, as a citizen, this is the United States of America. I spent 25 years of my life defending your right to have an opinion. And so if you want to form a group, and then you, as a grassroots thing, starts, like the petition for the chamber, start one to, let's have a spay and neuter license. Let's find out how many people really want to do this to fix the licensure to support spay and neuter. If you want to do that, how can anybody argue against that? That's your right as Americans to do that. But it's easier for you to do than it would be for me to do. Yes, ma'am.
I think that one of the solutions that should be thought about is the thing that would stop all these unwanted animals was if we had rules for breeders.
Yep.
So they wouldn't just breed litters of pups and then throw them away and have them not taken care of. They've got to have a license to breed the dogs. They've got to take a course to understand the license. And if they don't get it, then they're fined.
I won't argue any of those things, but I think you got to start with one rule. Getting the licensure would be the place to start. And then if you want to talk about other rules, but I will tell you, for every person who wants a rule, who wants a license, there's another person who doesn't want it.
Don, when you tell us the commissioners control it, and we ask the commissioners and they say, we got a man running that, it's in your hands, so we're in the middle. We're neither you nor we're the commissioners, and we're left in the middle, and everybody says no, no, no. We don't have any alternatives offered to us that says, here's plan A, B, or C, pick one.
My organization has a Feed the Hungry program, so we try to identify people that, just like a lady that I got from Peter the other day, she was in Charlotte. Her husband left her with everything but money, and she needed a month's worth of dog food. Not a problem. You know, we'll give her dog food. So she didn't turn the animals in. She would have, because she couldn't feed them.
Right.
So there are opportunities to keep pets out of. So.